Oh my gosh, they viewed my profile. I'm so excited. I can't wait for that recruiter to reach out to me with a job opportunity. And then silence. See, if somebody viewed your profile, maybe a recruiter or a hiring leader, and then didn't reach out, then you might be wondering what exactly happened. See, when people create their own LinkedIn profile, they think from their own perspective. And that is why it doesn't resonate with hiring leaders. But not you, my friend. Today, we're going to change the way you think about LinkedIn. We'll help you to understand the flow, evaluate your own profile, and see the exact point when you may have lost them. And while we're talking, you might want to open up your LinkedIn account because you're going to have a couple of light bulb aha moments as you're checking it out and listening to this podcast. And of course, since you're there, go ahead and connect with me. Send me a quick message. Let me know you're listening to this episode, and I'll send you our 3-step LinkedIn profile. Hey there, you're listening to the Uncommon Career Podcast, and I'm here with you every single week to help you stand out in a sea of applications. My name is Patricia, and my job is to help you get noticed in a system that might feel like human versus robot. Now, I'm going to start first with a little bit of a story because this very same thing we're talking about today happened to me when I first started this podcast and really over the last couple years. If you've been sticking around with me and you and I have been having conversations for a while now, you've probably seen the evolution. When I first started, I would talk a lot about terms like emotional intelligence and patterns and overcoming barriers and transformational coaching. And all of these words made sense to me as someone who's in the profession of coaching, but they didn't resonate with someone who's thinking, like, give me what I actually need to get to the job offer. And see, here's the thing. It took me years to realize how to do this. At first, I started to DIY it, thinking, okay, well, I changed the words. And no matter how much I tried to change the words, my perspective remained. So my words were different, yet from the same perspective. And so eventually I got a coach. Thank you, Jen of Virtual Podcasting School, Jen Rogers. By the way, if you need a podcast coach, she is amazing. And she helped me how to evolve this in terms of the podcasting and being able to understand how to get into someone else's shoes, how to think from someone else's perspective. Then I, of course, had to iterate a little bit. And now I'm like, oh, that's what you mean. Now I get it. And now the words that I think of are more from your perspective instead of coming from mine. Otherwise, it's like a coach talking to another coach. They're like, yeah, you're preaching to the choir, right? But the people who actually need the information aren't receiving the message. I'm happy to report now that our retention numbers are over 100% consistently. And what I'm understanding from that is that what I'm sharing here is much more helpful for you now than it was before. And that's a great thing. That's exactly where we want to be. So, today, what we're going to do is help you to put on the perspective of the hiring leader so you can communicate with them through your LinkedIn profile. Now, before we get started, I want you to think about these 3 goals the entire time that we're talking. The first goal is attention. As soon as someone lands, a recruiter or hiring leader lands on your profile, you want to grab their attention so that they realize I'm in the right place. I do want to learn a little bit more about this person. Now, the second goal is retention. That means that as they learn more, they are getting more and more interested in sticking around to learn even more about your experience. The final goal is decision. Now, we might think of decision as contact me, send me an email, tell me you want to bring me in for a screening. But sometimes that decision is not visible. So maybe someone looked at your profile but decided not to connect, but they're going to forward your information to their hiring leader, or they're going to send your information over to a recruiter, or they've decided to have a conversation with a decision maker. So you may not see the action take place, and that's okay. But the point is that your profile should be optimized for 3 goals: attention, retention, and decision. Okay, so now heading into your LinkedIn profile, we're going to look at micro decisions within the profile just so you can start to get a sense of like, okay, how are these decisions being made? Now, Each hiring leader is going to have their own way of making decisions when they look at profiles. One hiring leader might go straight to the about section. Another, maybe a recruiter, will go straight to the experience section. That's all they really care about. They just want to see your titles. But what I'm talking about here is different points at which someone going from top to bottom in your profile will be met with those decision points. So really quickly here, going through the top of your profile, the initial decision point is, should I scroll? Should I hit that connect button? Should I hit that message button? Those are the main ones there. If they decide to scroll, now they're looking at your about section, but they can't see everything. All they see is 4 lines. And whether or not they decide to learn more about you is highly dependent on those 4 lines, because if you don't open the email, it doesn't matter how good the information is in that email. That means that the title of the email, the subject line, is the most important part of that email. So for your about section, the first 3 to 4 lines, the lines that are visible before that see more link, are the most important parts. So if they decide, yes, I'm going to go ahead and click see more, then there's multiple micro decisions even in this about section. Is it a wall of text that already presents some friction when reading? More importantly, is the content not the content they're looking for? Keep in mind at this point, recruiters, hiring leaders, anyone looking to make a hiring decision is not so much interested in your, passion, your drive. They're more interested in, can you do the job, and what have similar accomplishments look like before. So this is where leading with your passion and your drive is really going to work against you. It's just another example of the way these decisions get made along the way. Now, at the very end, if the about section just kind of ends without a call to action, it feels like, hey, learn more about my experience. Okay, thanks, bye. And what you really wanted to say instead is a very clear, now that you've learned my experience, here is the next step. And that might look like, hey, if you're looking for X kind of professional to bring X outcome, go ahead and contact me here on LinkedIn or send me an email. Now, does that mean that everyone who comes on your profile is going to take one of those 2 actions? Probably not, but you're creating the space for those people who want to reach out to you to go ahead and make that decision to say, oh, right, it's time to reach out to this person. Okay, so then we're going to go into your experience, but to get there, we've got to go through your activity. And if you haven't had any activity in a year, 2 years, then what that tells the hiring leader, it communicates to them that you might not be active on LinkedIn. And so now they're thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't reach out to them because it's going to take time to, draft up a message and hit that connect button, send the message, and I'm not going to hear anything back. Let me go on someone else's profile who's active on LinkedIn, who I know is going to respond to me right away. Quick heads up on being active on LinkedIn. It's helpful. It's not going to make or break your search, but it is helpful. Anyhow, you'll see a lot more decision points or micro decisions along the way when you pop into your experience, specifically all those see more links and whether or not they continue on to see your full experience or if it's available all at once. And there's multiple other sections here, right? Education, licenses, volunteering, skills, etc. I won't really spend too much there because the bulk of hiring leader recruiter's time is probably going to be spent on the top portion, the about section, and your experience. And, in a perfect world, they would take action from there. So as you look at your LinkedIn profile, just holistically, whether you're at the header, in the about section, or in the experience section, keep in mind there's a difference between the information you want to share and the information they need to see. So always be leaning toward what is it that the hiring leader needs to see at this point. Now, at the end of all of this, maybe you're in your car or maybe you're cleaning house, maybe you're walking around. Just remember this. To create a profile that gets noticed by recruiters and hiring leaders, you need to think from their perspective. The goal is that today you had a light bulb moment because that one light bulb moment is more important than any one small decision that we talked about. Your next step is to look at your LinkedIn and ask yourself, what micro decision is my profile leading them to make? And if while you're looking, you're starting to think, I've got to start from scratch, I've got to overhaul this whole thing, I encourage you to head over to theuncommoncareer.com/audit because in under an hour, you're going to be clear on what's strong within your LinkedIn profile and doesn't need to get an overhaul, and what truly does need to go. It's 50 minutes to solid clarity and those aha moments that are more meaningful than individual hacks. They help you to change your perspective, and that's really what we're going for here. So again, if you want to grab a time, that's theuncommoncareer.com/audit. I am so glad that we got a chance to chat a little bit more about LinkedIn today. I know we haven't talked about it in a minute. And I know last time you and I talked about LinkedIn, it was more tactical, like very specific things to do. But today was really more about perspectives, the big picture aha moment. And so I hope it was helpful for you. Come back next week because we're going to keep talking about all things job search. But for now, know that Denise and I are praying for you. We're cheering you on, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, thanks for listening. I really appreciate you spending time with me today. If you found this episode helpful, please tap the 5-star review on the show's homepage in your podcast app. It would absolutely make my day, and it helps others discover the Uncommon Career Podcast. Now, to download your free career resources and learn how I help seasoned professionals land amazing offers in as little as 90 days, click on the link in the description or go to theuncommoncareer.com. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.